I haven't really made any change in my habits otherwise. So I know that any change that occurred is occurring because of taking Truebiohack. And I initially was somewhat skeptical, actually, and I think that's actually a pretty good position to come from when undertaking a new agent. So I didn't read the material, I didn't read any of the marketing material or any material relevant to the product, except I understood enough about the elements of it that I knew it was okay. Within probably 72 hours, I started noticing an unusual clarity. It's very hard to describe, but it was a kind of improved clarity of thought. Almost slightly like a stimulant, but not quite that intense. It was just a kind of brightening. And that was coupled also with a brief sensation of increase in energy, which was unusual for me at that point, to have bursts of energy at certain times of the day. I'm used to my own body rhythms. That effect faded within probably 5 days. Subsequently, I attended a conference out in the desert in which I was a volunteer. The work that I did required me to be on my feet for 8 hours. And my job was to greet people and to also serve as a kind of door manager to keep people who were not supposed to be there out. So I had to be both tough and emotionally available at the same time. What I noticed is that my resilience for this task, which is a very demanding task in some ways, because we're dealing with thousands of people, was that my resilience in the desert was surprising to me, and my wife noticed as well, that somehow I was able to bounce back and I had energy at the end of the day that I hadn't previously noticed. Now she's independently noticed, which I haven't noticed, but she's independently noticed that I'm napping less during the day. So if I take a nap, it's much briefer, and that I'm just not doing it as often. Now, one recent effect, now I'm about at the end of a month of the reset phase of the program, and during the reset phase, or during the latter, I would say 2 weeks, the quality of my sleep is clearly better. I sleep more deeply, I wake up less often, and I sleep a little bit longer. I used to sleep around 6.5, and then I would up. Now I'm sleeping comfortably at 7.5, and that feels much better. So my resilience somehow in that regard has improved as well. And that's pretty much it at this point.
Perfect. Any tips on how, or your experience, when were you taking the product? Any specific time of day? Were you eating it, or were you taking the detox capsules?
I was taking the detox capsules alone. I decided not to take any other parts of the program or the other additives, turmeric, for example, because I wanted to, also as sort of a scientist, cognitive scientist, I wanted to see what purely taking the detox formula would do, if anything. And I've been taking, when I set my medicines out for the week, I just include it as a part of my medicines. I don't give it any thought except to take it in the morning. I take 2 in the morning, and that's been it.
Excellent. Perfect. Thanks.